All right, so you're ready to ace that Chimney Sweep Supervisor interview, huh? Well, strap in because we're about to take a deep dive into some seriously insightful interview prep, all thanks to RoleCatcher's career and interview guides.
That's right, we're talking insider tips and tricks to help you really nail those tricky questions.
And first up on the roster, a question that might seem like a softball, but it's your chance to really set the stage. Can you tell us about your experience working as a Chimney Sweep Supervisor?
It's all about first impressions, right? But in this case, you're painting that picture with your words.
Exactly. So how do you make those words count?
Think about the core skills a chimney sweep supervisor needs: leadership, problem solving, a deep understanding of industry standards. Anyone can rattle off a list of past jobs, but weaving those experiences into your answer is key. Did you ever implement a new safety protocol that reduced accidents? Or successfully navigated a conflict between team members?
Those are the kind of stories that really make you stand out. And speaking of standing out, RoleCatcher's interview guide has a whole section on approach and avoid for this very question.
Oh, for sure. And one thing they emphasize is steering clear of those vague, generic answers.
I was really good at my job, just doesn't cut it.
Not even a little. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really become your new best friend. Think of it like this. It takes your work history and helps you pull out those specific, impactful examples that really showcase your capabilities.
It's like having a personal brand manager for your career.
Exactly.
So you've aced that first question. You've wowed them with your incredible experience. Now they hit you with this. How do you ensure your team adheres to safety standards and guidelines?
Safety is absolutely paramount in this line of work. Interviewers want to see that you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk.
It's about that proactive approach to safety. And it's a big responsibility, too. The career guide really highlights how a chimney sweep supervisor isn't just responsible for their own safety, but the well-being of their entire team.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge responsibility. And interviewers, they're looking for someone who takes that very seriously. So when you answer this question, don't just rattle off a list of regulations. Talk about how you've actually implemented safety protocols in the past, how you've trained your team and really fostered that culture of safety.
The insight section for this question, RoleCatcher's interview guide, emphasizes how much interviewers value concrete examples over theoretical knowledge.
They want to hear about your process. Did you create a system for inspecting equipment? Did you implement daily safety briefings? Those details matter.
It's about proving you've been there and done that. And here's the best part. RoleCatcher's AI can actually tailor your answers to the specific company and role you're going for. You can input details about their safety record or specific job challenges, and bam, personalized suggestions.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Okay, so we've tackled safety. Now let's talk about another crucial aspect of this role: customer service. Because even though you're dealing with chimneys, it's still a people business.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to another common interview question. Can you tell us about a time you had to deal with a difficult client or situation?
Ah, yes. This question is all about showcasing your conflict resolution skills, your ability to stay calm under pressure.
So what's the best way to approach this one? Any go-to strategies?
The STAR method is always a winner. Describe the situation, explain the task you had to complete, outline the action you took, and highlight the positive result. And again, be specific. Paint that picture.
RoleCatcher actually provides a sample response, but it's intentionally generic.
You don't want to sound like a robot reading from a script.
Exactly. It's more of a framework that you can personalize.
Right. Think about a time you had to deal with a demanding client, a scheduling conflict, even a safety concern raised by a homeowner. Walk them through your thought process and how you resolved the situation successfully.
It's storytelling, but with a purpose. Now, before we jump into more questions, I want to touch on something that's often overlooked, but incredibly valuable: understanding the career trajectory of a chimney sweep supervisor.
Oh, absolutely. RoleCatcher's Career Guide has a whole section on Chimney Sweep Supervisor career stages, and it's pure gold.
It outlines that typical path from entry level to more senior positions, highlighting the skills and experience you need to progress.
Right. And familiarizing yourself with that information can give you a real edge in the interview. It shows you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for a career. You're thinking long term.
And it can help you tailor your answers to the specific level you're interviewing for. For example, if it's entry level, you might focus on your eagerness to learn and your basic understanding of safety protocols. But if it's a more senior role, you'd want to showcase your leadership experience, your track record of managing a team.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating you have the skills and experience to excel at that particular stage in your career.
And that brings us back to those all-important interview questions. Let's tackle another one that's designed to assess your leadership style. How do you manage and motivate a team of chimney sweeps?
Ooh, this one's all about finding that sweet spot between being authoritative and approachable.
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Hmm.
So what are some key things interviewers are looking for in your response?
Well, they want to see that you understand how to delegate tasks effectively, provide constructive feedback, and create a positive and productive work environment. Think about those times you've had to step up as a leader, even in informal settings.
Right. It doesn't necessarily have to be a formal management position. Maybe you led a team project in college or organized a volunteer event.
Exactly. Those experiences still speak volumes about your leadership potential.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help you craft your answer by prompting you to think about specific situations and actions that exemplify your leadership style.
It's like having a brainstorming partner who also happens to be an expert in interview prep.
Now, let's shift gears to a question that's all about your commitment to staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay up to date with industry standards and regulations?
This is your chance to really showcase your dedication to continuous learning, your passion for the field.
It's not enough to just say, oh, I'm sure I'd figure it out.
Definitely not. Mention specific industry publications, websites, organizations that you follow.
Like the National Chimney Sweep Guild or the Chimney Safety Institute of America.
Exactly. And don't forget about any certifications or workshops you've attended. Those are gold.
It shows you're proactive, you're informed, and you're always looking to improve your skills.
Exactly.
And speaking of providing top-notch service, let's wrap up this section with one final question. How do you ensure that your team provides high-quality service to clients?
This one's all about your definition of quality and how you translate that into actionable steps for your team.
So what are some key things to keep in mind when answering this question?
Think about the metrics that matter most in this role. Efficiency, customer satisfaction, attention to detail. Maybe you have a system for collecting customer feedback or a process for handling complaints.
Don't be afraid to get specific. Share examples of how you've gone above and beyond for clients in the past.
It's all about painting that picture of a well-oiled machine with you at the helm, making sure everything runs smoothly and clients are happy.
This has been incredibly helpful. But before we move on, I want to remind our listener about something amazing. RoleCatcher offers a free account.
Yes, it's such a valuable resource. I'm so glad you brought that up.
You can save your favorite interview questions, access thousands of career and skill guides, and even leverage that incredible AI feedback system we talked about. It's like having a secret weapon for your job search.
Seriously, take advantage of that free account. It can be a game changer.
And hey, while you're at it, why not explore some of those other career guides? You never know what might spark your interest. But for now, let's get back to landing that chimney sweep supervisor job.
Exactly. And with the insights you've gained today and the tools RoleCatcher provides, you're well on your way.
Now let's take a quick pause and come back to tackle some more interview questions. We're just going to warm up. Okay, we're back and ready to fire up those interview simulators again. Imagine this. You're in the hot seat, the interviewer leans in and says, imagine you have a team of chimney sweeps, all with different experience levels. How would you approach training and development to make sure everyone's performing at their best?
Ooh, that's a good one. It really gets at your ability to assess those individual needs, create a supportive learning environment, and really bring out the best in your team.
It's about more than just knowing the technical stuff.
Way more. It's about leadership. It's about coaching. It's about creating that A-team atmosphere.
So how do you knock this answer out of the park and show them you're the leader they've been searching for?
Well, first off, acknowledge the elephant in the room, right? You've got a team with varying experience levels. That's your starting point. Then you talk about your approach to creating a training program that's not one size fits all.
So, no cookie-cutter solutions.
Exactly. You could talk about doing a baseline assessment, figure out everyone's strengths and weaknesses, where the gaps are. Then you're talking about a mix of hands-on training, maybe some mentorship programs, even online resources to really tailor that development.
It's showing them you're not just throwing everyone in the deep end and hoping for the best. You're thinking strategically. You're thinking individually.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to mention any experience you have with different learning styles or creating an inclusive training space.
And hey, this is where those RoleCatcher AI insights come in handy again. It can help you pull out those specific examples from your past, even if they're not directly related to chimney sweeping.
Oh, for sure. Maybe you mentored someone new at your last job or taught a skill to a group.
It all shows you know how to facilitate learning and growth, which is what this question is getting at.
100%. Okay, now let's say the interviewer throws a curveball. They say, we're really big on sustainability here. How would you incorporate eco-friendly practices into your team's work?
Ooh, I like this one. It's not just about what you know how to do. It's about being aware of those bigger industry trends, showing you can adapt and evolve.
It shows you're thinking long-term, thinking about impact.
And speaking of impact, the career guide actually mentions the growing importance of sustainability in the chimney sweep industry.
It's a big deal. So when you're answering, you want to demonstrate that you get it, that you know how to weave those sustainable practices into your team's everyday work.
So what kind of concrete examples could you use to really drive that point home?
Well, you could talk about your knowledge of eco-friendly cleaning products and techniques. Or maybe you emphasize the importance of disposing of soot and debris responsibly.
Minimizing that environmental impact.
Exactly. You could even suggest a system for recycling or repurposing old equipment.
It's showing them you're not just about maintaining, you're about improving, innovating even. Okay, let's fast forward to the end of the interview. They hit you with the big one. What are your salary expectations?
The salary question, it's always a little bit of a tightrope walk, isn't it?
It can be, but it's one of those things you absolutely have to be prepared for.
No doubt. And that's where research is your best friend.
RoleCatcher's salary tool can be a lifesaver here. Gives you those insights into the average pay range for chimney sweep supervisors in your area.
Love that tool, because knowing your worth is key. Once you've got a good understanding of the going rate, you can figure out your own expectations. Think about your experience, your skills, your goals, the whole package.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're confident but also flexible.
Right. You could say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm aiming for a salary in the range of, fill in the blank. But I'm definitely open to talking about the overall compensation and benefits package.
It shows you're not just fixated on a number, you're thinking big picture, thinking value.
Exactly. And if they push for a specific figure, be ready to give that range, not a hard number.
Good advice. Okay, we've covered a lot here. Safety, training, sustainability, even the dreaded salary talk. What's that one key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with today?
I think the biggest thing is to remember you're not just answering questions, you're telling your story, your unique journey.
I love that.
And that's what's going to stick with them. That's what's going to set you apart.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher is there every step of the way to help you refine that story, craft those killer answers.
It's like having a personal cheering section, but for your career.
Exactly. Okay, let's take a quick breather and then come back for one final push to wrap up this deep dive. All right, we're back and ready to seal the deal on this interview prep. We've covered so much ground, from tackling those tough questions to understanding what it takes to really thrive as a chimney sweep supervisor.
It's been quite the journey, hasn't it? But no matter what, remember to walk into that interview with confidence. Let your passion shine through, and don't be afraid to let your unique experience speak for itself.
It's not just about knowing the technical stuff, it's about showing them who you are as a leader.
100%. And remember, RoleCatcher is in your corner every step of the way.
It's like having a career coach on speed dial.
Exactly. So, as you head into that interview room, remember to breathe, be yourself, and trust in your abilities.
Visualize that success, and you'll be well on your way.
You've got this.
And on that note, it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. A huge thank you to you, our expert, for sharing those incredible insights today. You've given our listeners so much to think about, and most importantly, so much to act on.
It's been my pleasure. Always love a good deep dive, especially when it's all about helping someone take that next step in their career.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this adventure into the world of chimney sweep supervisors. Remember, you've got this. Go out there and ace that interview.
We're rooting for you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into those career goals.